Senator Barrasso.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, last Friday, President Obama gave a speech about American exports, and the President stated that one of the things that we should be focused on is helping more businesses sell more products to the rest of the world. He explained that exports are one of the brightest spots in the economy and that every $1 billion in exports supports nearly 5,000 jobs. These are great things to say, but they belie the actions of this administration. And, Mr. Chairman, while I'm here to congratulate all the three nominees, I have a couple of questions related specifically for the Department of Energy because I look at liquefied natural gas exports as a concern. Currently, countries from around the world want to buy LNG from the United States. These countries are imploring this administration to act on the export applications that are currently pending for LNG. Over the last 2.5 years, the Department of Energy has acted on only 4 applications to export LNG to countries which do not have free trade agreements with the U.S. Meanwhile, the current Department of Energy is sitting on 20 pending applications. The global demand is limited. The time to act is now. So Mr. Smith, my question is, help us understand, if you will, on the committee, the delay in processing these applications. Is the delay coming from inside or outside of the Department of Energy? Is it coming from the White House? Just trying to figure out where the bottleneck is.
Well, thank you very much for that question, Senator. First of all, we certainly share your interest in the topic and with the possibility of, or the promise, the opportunity to create jobs and to do positive things for our economy. In terms of moving forward on LNG export applications, as you mentioned, we've made orders on 4 applications thus far. All 4 applications that we've issued orders on, we've approved. As Secretary Moniz has stated when he came before this committee, our job is to move forward as expeditiously as possible, but while also showing the care that's mandated by statute, by the Natural Gas Act. So it's our intention to continue to move expeditiously, to evaluate each of these applications on a case-by-case basis, and if confirmed into this role, I'd look forward to working with you and with this committee.
That's encouraging, because I guess that's the question. If confirmed, what steps would you take to reduce some of these delays so that expeditiously means faster than it's currently going?
Yeah, well, thanks for that question, Senator. Certainly, I would not characterize our process as having been delayed. If I look at the requirements that are upon us under statute and the fact that we are moving into an unprecedented area, it's incumbent on the Department of Energy to make sure that we're considering all stakeholders. Certainly, there are some stakeholders who would want us to move faster, and there are some stakeholders who would want us not to export LNG at all. So it's our job to make sure that we're making good, prudent decisions that are consistent with the public interest and that withstand scrutiny, and we'd look forward to moving forward in that way, in that vein.
On Tuesday, I sent the Secretary Moniz, a letter in support of the Jordan Cove LNG export terminal. Unlike any other proposed export facility, the Jordan Cove would really provide Rocky Mountain states as well as Indian tribes access to international markets. Jordan Cove would enable states like Colorado, Wyoming, the Indian tribes, such as the Ute Indian tribe, to sell natural gas to customers in Asia who are very interested in buying this. Rocky Mountain states and Indian tribes depend heavily on natural gas production to fund basic government services like K-12 education, roads, bridges, water, sewer systems, all related to the revenue from this LNG. Natural gas production also provides income to many of the families in our states. It puts food on the table, keeps the heat on, pays for the necessities as clothing, impacts the quality of life, and the nation's supply of natural gas is expected to exceed our domestic demand. So companies are already canceling natural gas projects. They're generating fewer jobs in our communities and less revenue to local and state governments. The communities are going to need access to international markets if they're going to continue to thrive. So this is why I think the DOE must expeditiously, and we're back on that word, review and act on LNG export applications. So I just ask, if you appreciate the importance of these exports to communities that produce natural gas, such as the Rocky Mountain states and our Indian reservations for the tribes.
I certainly do, Senator.
I'd like to discuss a little bit on carbon capture and sequestration technology, and I know Senator Franken was discussing that as well with you previously. In September, EPA issued a proposed rule governing greenhouse gas emissions for new power plants. The EPA's rule effectively requires new coal-fired power plants to deploy carbon capture and sequestration technology. However, the technology isn't currently and may never be commercially and economically viable. Last month, your predecessor, Charles McConnell, testified about carbon capture and storage technology before the House of Representatives. His statement was, the cost of current CO2 capture technology is much too high, he said, to be commercially viable. He explained that technology exists for separation and capture of CO2 at the plant, but it increases the cost of generating electricity, say, by about 80%. Well, of course, those are costs that consumers then would have to bear. Finally, he noted that affordable solutions may be decades away with the current level of funding. So the question is, given the state of this technology, is it reasonable for the EPA to effectively require this technology for all new coal-fired power plants?
Well, thank you for the question, Senator. We're clearly not, we're not the regulatory agency, and I've not seen a transcript of anything my predecessor might have said, so I can't comment in detail on what he might have commented or on the regulatory process, which is the responsibility of the Environmental Protection Agency. What I will say is that these base technologies aren't new. The North Dakota Great Plains project's been capturing CO2 for over a decade. There are 12 large commercial scale projects that are in development or operating around the world. The administration has committed over $6 billion over the last several years on carbon capture and sequestration. And we've seen development projects in operation and being built currently in real time. So my job, if confirmed into this role, would be to continue to push the technologies, continue to lower the cost of capture, and continue to realize the importance of this particular technology to ensure that coal is part of the clean energy economy of the future.
Well, I appreciate that, because I look at this to be Assistant Secretary of Fossil Energy for the Department of Energy. It does seem the administration, if it's concerned, as you point out, in the importance of this, about investment, I just wonder why the administration has dramatically reduced its annual budget request for programs that actually develop this technology. I know you weren't the person that put the budget into place or made that request, but I'm wondering about the commitment of the administration based on its budgeting requests when what you're stating is something that heads a little bit in the other direction.
Well, thanks, Senator. But I mean, since the start of the administration, we've committed $6 billion, which has been a historic investment in CCS R&D and demonstrations. The Department has just released an $8 billion loan guarantee program that could be used through the suite of opportunities for fossil energy, including carbon capture and sequestration. And we're continuing to work with our partners in industry and in academia to push this technology forward. So these challenges are difficult. They're challenging. They require us to work with industry and with academia. And if confirmed in this role, I'd commit to working with you and with Congress and with other agencies to make sure that we are pushing to achieve the milestones that we need to meet.
Thank you. And again, congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Barrasso. Just by way of engaging briefly on this natural gas issue, because I think you know I'm very interested in working closely with you and Senator Murkowski, because it's my view that we Americans, especially we Westerners, we're always interested in trying to have it all. We want to be able to have the advantage for our consumers and our businesses. We've got it. The world wants it. I mean, this is sort of advantage America, and it's been my view that if we tee this up right, we can have all of those benefits, including benefits for renewables, because natural gas is a clear connection to solar and wind for purposes of getting those renewables into baseload power. I think part of what we're starting to see emerge is the challenge of dealing with sort of specific areas of the country. When I was in Alaska, and Senator Murkowski and I were talking about the interest in Cook's Inlet in terms of exporting natural gas. If they don't get to export natural gas, unless I'm missing something, it's stranded. I mean, nobody's going to get hurt in the lower 48. The only people that would get hurt would be, in effect, Alaskans. On the Jordan Cove issue, we have a different kind of challenge. And, of course, I'm very interested in my constituents in a part of the state that's just been clobbered, over the years, economically with changes in natural resources policies. Having the opportunity to be considered. One of the advantages for Jordan Cove, beyond the fact that it's just the only West Coast one, in consideration, is the company has said the facility will export primarily Canadian liquefied natural gas. That's what's on their website, and that's what they've been talking about. So that presents, again, an opportunity that you're not going to be displacing, gas that would be going to hard-hit, companies that are trying to get an advantage in, tough global markets. So my sense is we're all going to be working on this in a joint way. I think Mr. Smith was helpful today on the pause issue because, there's been a lot of discussion where people on all sides of this issue have just been trying to figure out, what the administration's position was on the pause issue. And Mr. Smith clarified that essentially we were going to stay in the case-by-case kind of approach, which is what Dr. Moniz had assured me of. So I thank my colleagues for wanting to work on this in a collegial and bipartisan way. And sometimes the more you learn about natural gas exports, sometimes the less you think you know, because it is a complicated issue. And my sense is if we do it right, we can have it all. And if the senator from Wyoming wants to comment, that's fine.
Well, I appreciate your efforts, Mr. Chairman. You've been terrific in working to accomplish this. I think over the life of the project, of the one that we've just discussed, over the length of the project, it would be about an equal amount from the Rockies as well as from Canada. And of course, we have great concerns for the communities and the quality of life of the people that work there. These are excellent jobs, great benefits, and contribute to places where in many other ways, they're not able to economically develop all of the other resources. It's often a long distance if they try to manufacture and transport manufactured products, and so that these are opportunities for communities that may have limited opportunities. So I appreciate your efforts. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We are going to pursue this together, and Senator Murkowski and I probably have devoted more time to kicking around the various iterations of this debate on natural gas. It's going to continue, and I think so far the administration has kept its pledge, and sort of grudgingly all sides seem to have been able to live with it. They're going case by case. They're looking at the cumulative effects, and we're going to continue the discussion.